All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the late night Max Speed TV. This is Max Speed TV After Hours. We are here with the Northwest Truck Series, sponsored by Sanctuary Studios. Again, this is the MSTV 180 presented by Sanctuary Studios, and it is going to be a fantastic race. Nevertheless, we just got done talking to some of the drivers. So we'll go over all the information, kind of what to expect here in just a little bit. But before we do, we want to go over all the goodies here for the race as we pull up our coming soon screen here. Again, a lot of stuff coming up. Obviously, later tonight will be the Northwest Truck Series qualifying Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. You have the V2R Dirt Co. Media House Sprint Car Series powered by Payday GG, and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central you have the Dirt Slingers Racing League 360 sprint cars. So again, that is what's coming up here. We are in practice mode at the moment, so thanks for tuning in here at the late night 10:30 Truck Series. Again, this is the Northwest Truck Series. We have a lot of stuff to go over here. So just for the moment here, we are actually going to pick that up real fast and put our main graphic back up there for you. Again, we want to thank all the sponsors that make this possible here tonight on the Max Speed TV side of things. Definitely go over simspeedshop.com. Definitely a big shout out to them. Check them out. They've got lots of nice button boxes and other things that you can buy for your sim racing needs. HRE Motorsports and Elite 7 Racing, they are the two teams that keep us going here at Max Speed TV. So definitely go give them a like on their Facebook page. Let them know you heard about them here on Max Speed TV. Virtual to Reality.tv. A lot of big things coming in the works for them. We cover some of their racing leagues, I guess you could call them, series that they do. Again, more information coming on that in the near future. Dirt Co. Media House. Alright, now they are the sponsor that allows us to stream to Facebook and YouTube all at the same time. So big shout out to them and our newest sponsor here. And we also cover them for all their racing, Ohio IndyCar League. So definitely make sure if you are in the Ohio club, go check them out for some great IndyCar racing. Again, you want to give a big shout out to Highway Equipment Company. They have two divisions. One of them is Highway and the other is New Leader. So definitely go give a shout out to them. Again, that's New Leader and Highway from Highway Equipment Company. And again, the presented by sponsor here for this race and this series is Sanctuary Studios. So definitely a big shout out to them for jumping on board. That will wrap it up here for sponsors anyway. Again, you are watching the Northwest Truck Series presented by Sanctuary Studios. This is the MSTV 180 as we are going to get rid of that again for you here one last time. And we are going to pull up here. You have your top 10 times in practice. Josh Cushman is the fastest time on the charts right now with a 31.325. And it looks like possibly KR might be here, so KR, you got a copy.
I am here, and I just got to tell you, I'm a little bit late because I just had a thrilling race at a Daytona race with another league I was broadcasting, so bear with me as I get my bearings here with everyone that's in this session.
Yeah, definitely, we were watching part of that, a very exciting race, going from cup cars to trucks. And you were in here a second ago. We were talking with Jeff and talking about how slick this track is. They just have no grip. He was telling us 5 laps at a good speed and the tires are shot, or 7 at a decent speed, and these tires are like driving on ice out there. So that's going to make it interesting. We've seen a lot of cars spinning out of turn 4 on Monday night, and we may see that again here tonight.
I'll tell you what, Atlanta is one of the hardest tracks on tires, and it is also one of the tracks where you can feel like Superman, and you can just lay into the throttle and lay down a great lap but you're going to pay for it here in about 3 laps afterwards because the tires just will not last. So you got to manage your tires here tonight in this race. And I'm going to tell you, be watching for the guy who puts it on pole. The guy who sets quick time in qualifying may not be the fastest guy after about 5 or 10 laps here at Hot Atlanta, as I like to call it.
Yeah, definitely. Again, Josh Cushman is the fastest right now. Chris White right behind him with a 31.348.023 off. But again, like you said, these are probably times they're running. I know when we talked to him earlier in practice, a lot of these guys were taped up and they were running as fast as they could. But you're not going to see those times in the race. If you do, there's a good chance you're going to see them in the wall a few laps later. Like you said, these tires are junk after about 5-6 laps. So these guys are going to be running very conservative. I expect to see some good racing, but I don't expect to see too many people trying to push the issue, as really you kind of have one lane here. If you get up too far, it's just going to wear those tires out even more.
One of the things I like about Atlanta is, yes, you can run the high side here, and you can do it to your benefit. I've done it several times myself in the Indy car. I've done it in the truck car. I've done it in the Cup Series. You have to figure out where you want to run, but the most important thing is you have got to figure out how to save your tires and do it in a manner that is, you don't lose as much time as possible. So what you're looking for is time saved and tire saved. So if you can save both time and tires, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely are, and that will be the winner here tonight. Like I said, it won't be the fastest person probably. If it is, that will be a surprise. But it's gonna be the most conservative person who can conserve their tires. And in the end of the race, if you can conserve your tires a little bit, you don't push it too much. If you can just save them for those last probably 3 to 5 laps conservatively, and you can push it then, that's going to be who determines your winner. And when I was talking to Jeff, he said if there's a caution, which he expects there will be a few out here, everyone will be coming to pit road. They're going to want these fresh tires just about every time they come down.
There's going to be lots of pit road action every time the yellow comes out. I would expect multiple drivers, including those in the front, to take tires. Now, you might see a couple gamble who are in the back. If they want to gamble on a tire situation, that I am all for it. I would also be one of those guys. If I'm in the back, I'm going to take a gamble because, tires are extremely important, but also track position is something to be considered. So if I'm in the back, a caution has come out, I haven't pitted, within a couple of laps, I might stay out if everyone's pitting and just go from there and try and feel it out. This race has so many options. It's so hard to predict right now what everything is going to play out. So I'm excited for this race, Charles. I hope you are too. And I'm still wound up.
Definitely very excited, as we were just watching the 14 of Mike Peterson go through, and that's again what we've seen these drivers tell us is if we go on board with these guys, which we will, we do have several drivers onboard cameras sponsored by Sanctuary Studios, New Leader, Highway, SimStar Motorsports, and of course MSTV has some cars in the field here tonight. I expect to see, we may be dirt tracking it. You're going to see some of these guys with that wheel turned right. You don't see that on asphalt normally, but you get that car turned sideways and you're going to have to try to correct it. So we may see some right-handed turns here tonight as well.
One of the things about Atlanta, you're not going to see several long green flag runs unless it's let's say, a great run. The reason why I say that, tires are ate up so much here that there are going to be multiple drivers that are going to be caught out by how much the tires are ate up. So what we're going to see is tires that get chewed up. Drivers are going to try and start saving the car, and you're going to see a lot of cars from the back. As I see the 46 get sideways, the 53 is already spun out here in practice. But what I'm getting at is you're going to see a lot of drivers coming to the front or moving to the back. There's going to be a lot of position changes here tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it seems like the turn 4 is going to be the problem child here. You come out of that turn getting ready for the tri-oval, and it seems to be that's where all the issues, everything goes bad right there. As it looks like turn 2 is going to be an issue here, as we were just watching. I'm not sure who that was. You come out of that turn and you can see the whole rear end of that truck just kick out on you, and that's not what you want. If you see that kick out, if you let off in time and you can recover from that, you can definitely save it. But if you don't get to it in time, it's going to come around on you, and you are going to plant the nose of that truck right into that outside wall. With any luck, you'll be able to limp it back to pit road, but definitely if you have the worst end of the stick, it's going to destroy that engine.
Oh man, and that is not what you want to see. You don't want to see a meatball flag. I'm not sure on the ruling, but I think everyone gets one fast repair in this series.
I believe so, and they're definitely going to be using it here tonight.
Yeah, so with one fast repair, if your car breaks loose and you overcorrect and you shoot your nose into the outside wall, you're going to do massive amounts of damage. You're going to have to take a fast repair, and it's really going to affect your race. You're going to have a hard time recovering from that because there is just so much that's about to happen here at Atlanta. Like I said, the one thing we have to focus on, the one thing we're going to mention a lot tonight, is the comers and goers. Those who have got us set up for a long tire run versus those who have a short tire run set up. And if you have to stop and take a quick repair, you're going to end up at the back of this pack, and it's really going to set back your race.
Yeah, it definitely is. We were talking to Jeff, and was reading on their Facebook page earlier. Is nobody has been having very much luck with the setups here. Everybody's been struggling here in practice, yesterday and the day before as well. So a lot of frustration happening there with those setups. So as we see, it looks like the 09 and the 12 are going to get together there. Again, a lot of frustration. So hopefully that does not come over here into the race. Hopefully they've had a little more time to practice. I know they had a 4-hour practice earlier today. So there right there shows you that, you know, it's race day and they're still having to tweak on these setups. They are not happy with them. So it's going to be real interesting to see, who are normally our front runners. Again, you see Josh Cushman, Chris White, Andy Vogt, Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, those guys in the top 5 right now. Are they going to remain in that top 5, or are we going to see somebody here that's usually in the back, a little more conservative, and not running as hard, come away with a win?
It's Atlanta. It's too early to talk about who's coming away with the win, but I'll tell you what, I've watched this league now for multiple races. Multiple drivers constantly stand out in my mind. Chris White, one of them. Andy Vogt, another. Jeff Stabnow for sure stands out in my mind as a front runner. And here these guys are once again inside the top 5 in our practice times. But we cannot forget about Mark Walls Beard Co. This guy, he's doing a great job out here. Mark Walls, I am willing to bet that this guy is going to be someone we talk about a lot tonight.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And it'd be awesome to see him in victory lane. We've heard he's very quick. But as always here, we got about 5 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark, we do like to do our tradition here and pick the winner. So first, we'll let you go first this week. Do you have someone you're looking at that you're hoping to get in victory lane for you as your pick for the winner here?
I gotta tell you, Jeff Stabnow, he's the league admin. Everyone knows I like to pick apart the league admins, poke a little fun at them. But Jeff Stabnow, once again in 4th place here, quick time, or I shouldn't say quick time, 4th fastest. But I'm not picking him tonight. I'm gonna go with Mark Walls. I really feel like Mark Walls is doing a a lot of practice. He's solid driver. I feel like he's due for one tonight.
Well, and definitely we'll see if he can put that number 29 Walls Beard Co. A new leader Chevrolet into victory lane. Unfortunately, I'm going to pick the person that's third fastest right now with a 31.357 here in practice. That is Andy Vogt. He's won here in practice today and in practices in the past couple of days. You haven't heard him talk a whole lot. He hasn't said a whole lot on the radio as to kind of how his setup is, but he is sitting third fastest, so I think I'm going to go with Andy Vogt here for tonight's winner pick.
Now, I just want to counter you just a little bit here. David Applegate, the 23 car, one of your favorite drivers who you like to pick for the Intel, he's running an MSTV paint scheme.
He is indeed. I actually gave him that paint scheme, so sorry, David. As much as I'd like to pick you, I got to go with someone who... normally we don't talk about Andy Vogt too much, but he's up there, so I got to go with him tonight.
And I don't mean to stir the pot too much, but I do mean to stir the pot a whole lot. So there you go, David Applegate. Not your pick for tonight. You're going to go with Andy Vogt, but I like it. I like it a lot. That's a good choice.
It's definitely, and I'm also looking back to last week. You know, we picked third fastest Chris White, and he did walk away with the win. So with any luck, fingers crossed, maybe we'll see. He was third fastest in practice, and he came away with the win. So maybe it'll pull it out again for the win here for Andy Vogt this time.
And so here we are, trying our best to predict the winner, but I'm telling you, this race is going to come down to who pits, who gets track position. There is so many factors here at Atlanta to decide a winner that we are really, even though we sound really smart picking a winner right now, I really feel that neither one of us knows what the heck's going to happen next.
I have no idea. Like I said, I've been watching the practice for the last probably 2 days, 3 days, putting up a 4-hour practice today. This track is, again, hot, slippery, and as Jeff Stabnow would say, like driving on ice cubes. So, it's kind of interesting. It's snowing and icy here in Texas, so crazy things do happen. So we'll see what happens here tonight. It may be a crazy one.
A crazy one is going to be an exciting race as I watch Jeff Stabnow cut through the grass and find a quick exit into his pit stall. But, man, I'll tell you what, we are in, the closing minutes of our practice session, qualifying about to get underway. And there is just absolutely nothing more I could say about Atlanta tire wear, tire control, how much you can save. Hold on for that long green flag run because it could break out. There are so many factors in this race. I have no idea which one to focus on right now.
Definitely not. I think it's going to be a battle of tires. That's definitely the theme here tonight, as we have about 30 seconds left. So we are going to get that, and we are going to put up our main graphic for you here. Again, you are tuned in to the MSTV 180 presented by Sanctuary Studios. This is the Northwest Truck Series, and we are just about ready here, about 15 seconds before qualifying.
Now, you said you watched a lot of qualifying. Who do you think will put this thing on pole?
I'm hoping Andy Vogt, but honestly, I think it's going to go about how it is. I'm thinking it'll either be Josh Cushman or Chris White, but I think I'm going to go for Chris White to put it on pole here in qualifying.
Those two drivers, very, very solid picks. And you went Chris White. I'm going to have to go with the other one, Josh Cushman.
All right, well, we'll see who comes out on top. Is just waiting for him to come out onto the track officially, as it looks like Carl Burke is getting ready here, so we're going to switch to our other camera here so we can keep a close eye on it. Carl Burke's going to be the first driver to come out.
So this is a closed qualifying session. We're going to do our best to bring you drivers as they come around and complete laps. So you'll just have to understand that what we say is true.
This is true. Again, a few drivers out. Not everybody just jumping out of the gate. So very interesting here, as it looks like Ryan Maines, Steve Stilstad is out there. Carl Burke, John Ottenbacher. Wow, I can't talk today. Doug Hunt, Jason Hunt, and Adam Hunt. The two sons and a dad out there. So again, I believe Carl Burke's going to be the first one to put a lap in, though.
The Hunt crew is out in full force. We got Doug Hunt, Jason Hunt, Adam Hunt. We got 3 Hunts out there. They are all related. And I'll tell you, I love the fact that we have a trio of Hunts out there. This is going to be exciting to watch these guys work together and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, definitely. Almost want to refer to them as the 3 Musketeers or the 3 Hunters. Because that's kind of what they are out there. And we'll see. Maybe we haven't seen them work together, as Carl Burke's going to put in a time of a 31.445. And Gary Nichols right behind with a 31.563. Nobody else has put in a time just yet.
No, we got 3 cars who've set in times right now. We got Carl Burke, Gary Nichols, and Steve Silstad. Hope I nailed that last name. Holy crap. But now Adam Hunt has set a 4th quickest time.
Definitely, it just put in now 5th with a 31.875. Now 6th as they're doing it. Look at Jason Hunt. We were just talking about the Hunt family there of 3 drivers. He takes it to the top of the charts with a 31.417. So a very fast time, a .028 ahead of Carl Burke right now. So interesting. Neither one of our picks are up there. But again, Chris White has not come onto the track. And so now Matt Henry is going to take it to the top with a 31.270.
Andy Vogt, I'm watching him. He is just now getting up to speed. He was one of the guys who was fast in practice, so let's see what he can do here in qualifying.
Definitely, we'll see. And while we're watching Andy Vogt here, we'll also keep an eye on those top drivers. As Josh Cushman's going to take it to the top. There's your pick. With a 31.094.
Josh Cushman shutting it down after setting a quick time with, like you said, a 31.094. He still has a couple of moments to set things up, but I think he's going to settle in with a 31.094.
It looks like he is currently 7th, as again we're still watching Andy Vogt here. Is Mark Walls with a 31.562, and John Ottenbacher right behind him in 8th place with a 31.684. So a lot of good times being put in here, but we're going to see if Andy Vogt can possibly take it to the top here. Again, he was 3rd fastest, and he's going to put in a 3rd fastest time here in qualifying as well with a 31.367.
I'm currently watching Kip Leo. He's scored in the top 10 right now with a 31.696. And Kip Leo's got a black and yellow car. Very sharp in my opinion. His paint scheme looks pretty good. He's one that I'm going to keep an eye on, as well as my favorite pick of Mark Walls. But Kip Leo, I think we're going to see some good things from him tonight as well.
Definitely. As it looks like, we'll take a look here. David Applegate in that brand new sponsored MSTV paint job. He is currently not on the. He is in the end of pit road, but he has not gone out onto the track yet. So we'll actually switch over to Jeff Stab now, who is on his first lap right here. So we'll see what kind of times he can put in. I have a feeling he's going to be at least in the top 5 of that lap right there.
Jeff Stab now a very, very solid driver. If he doesn't put this in the top 10, I'll tell you what, I'll throw my arms up and I'll be like, you know what, this field's out of control, I can't handle it.
Yeah, and we'll actually switch back to him here. Sean Breitzman takes it to 2nd place with a 31.238. We don't want to count him out right now in that Walls Beardco Highway or Toyota. That is a Toyota, my bad. We've heard he is a very fast driver here and he's showing it right now as he is in second place, and Jeff Stabnell jumps up to fifth with a 31.375.
Well, that's good because I was just trying to figure out how I was going to watch this race with my arms up in the air. So Jeff Stabnow puts it in a top 5 place. Jason Hunt in 6th, right behind him. So Stabnow solidly inside the top 10. So I guess I can keep my arms down for this race.
Yes, that is true. You can. That would probably be a little easier. You might lose a little blood flow if you had to keep your hands up that high. But David Applegate is out on the track again. Brand new sponsor. He is running the MSTV paint job here tonight in that number 23 Chevrolet. So a shout out to him for running that for us. A big thing. But again, this is the MSTV 180. So this is our race here tonight. We picked a doozy of a track to do it on for sure.
Oh, that we did. And the 14 machine of Mike Peterson getting ready to log his first qualifying time. I want to see where he scored. He looks like he was running some solid laps, but conservative. Not really sure what he's after here. The 14 machine, Mike Peterson, going to be scored 21st. So I've been watching him for a few minutes. Didn't look like he was running a qualifying line. And I'm just curious kind of what he's after here. So I don't know if he's trying to hold himself into the back of the pack and qualify with that, or what he's kind of doing, but very confused by this.
Jumped to 20th there with a 31.867. He very well may be just trying to hang back. Don't get up there in the mix where these people are pushing it. That very well could lead to disaster, as now Chris White just completed his first lap with a 31.270. So he is now in a 4th position.
Chris White holding on to 4th place. Jason Hunt in 7th. He is the top Hunt crew member, however you want to say it. And as I look through the pack here, the other Hunt brothers, Doug Hunt in 19th place with a 31.777, and I'm missing one more.
Adam Hunt's down there with back in 22nd with a 31.875.
Thank you. I couldn't find him for the life of me.
It looks like everyone is basically going to shut it down here. Brandon Peters in the number 9. He is sitting on pit road. Scott Hutchings, son, again, has not taken a qualifying lap, and Dan Stuzzi has not as well. But we need to step away here for just a moment. So we'll be right back with right after the National Anthem with your grid.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. They are officially taking to the grid here. So again, without further ado, let's get through to your HRE Motorsports starting grid.
Josh Cushman on pole, quick time with a 31.093. On his outside, Sean Breitzman with 31.237. Second row, spots 3 and 4. Matt Henry, Chris White, Andy Vogt, Jeff Stabnow. Those guys 5 and 6. Row 3. Row 4, Jason Hunt, Carl Burke. Row 5, David Applegate and Steve Seelstad.
All right, row 6 is going to be Gary Nichols and Mark Walls. Again, we do expect to see Mark Walls moving up through the fields here tonight. We've heard he's very good at these 1.5-mile tracks. Row 7, John Ottenbacher and Kip Leo. Row 7 is going to have Dana Rogers and Brett Johnson. Row 9 is going to be Tom Green and Trenton Barrington. Again, we'll be checking all of these guys out here tonight to see how they progress through the field. Row 10 is going to be Doug Hunt and Jason Swank, who didn't talk about here much in practice, so we'll see how he progresses through the field. Row 11 is going to be Mike Peterson and Adam Hunt. Row 12 is going to be Chris Sherburne and Ryan Maines. Row 13, Brad Cornell and Scott Hutchins, who did not take the time here. And rounding out row 14 is going to be Brandon Peters and Dan Stuzzi. So a lot of cars here tonight, as that will do it for the HRE Motorsports starting lineup. Getting ready here to get this race started here very shortly.
Sorry as I cough as I tried to talk, but we're here in Atlanta. We're going to get a quick 1-lap pace lap. The lights are already out on the pace car.
The door and lights are out, like he said. We do apologize. You just got done for the long race, 100 laps at Daytona, and now we're here for 120 at Atlanta. So you may be under the weather here shortly, as you may not have a voice left.
No, and I'll tell you that Daytona race I did was so exciting. I forgot all about what I was doing here and burned my voice up. I did not pace myself.
Well, we don't mind. As long as you're here, we'll definitely glad to have you in the booth. Looks like they are just about ready here. As we'll see, there it is. Green flag is out for the first time, and we are racing. So 27 cars starting here tonight. And we'll keep an eye. We're going to keep a close eye here anyway. That's going to let you know who is starting where. So we'll take a little bit wider angle here. Everybody really still kind of double file, except for the front two have pulled away quite nicely.
Josh Cushman out in front right now in the 95 machine. Sean Breitzman in the 46. These two cars, solid drivers week in and week out. And I'd be watching to see how these guys run here in the long run if we can get one in.
Yeah, definitely. And looking back to Jeff Stabnow, he's got Matt Henry just in front of him in the number 19. Again, Jeff Stabnow in the 24. Carl Burke right behind him, and Chris White in 6th position. So, again, we're not seeing too much battling going on. These guys are going to be very conservative here in these first few laps. I am pretty sure of that. So we'll keep an eye. We're on lap 2 right now. So when will the first caution be, and what will it be for? I'm sure it'll be probably somebody spinning out on these old tires, but around lap 5 or 6, that's when we're going to start looking for these tires to just basically fall off.
Tire drop off is something to keep track of. But meanwhile, the other thing to keep track of is, you know, when you see a driver running the high side, I like to run the high side here at Atlanta. If we get into a long run situation and you're running the high side, it's going to burn your tires off a little bit less. You're able to maintain a higher speed for longer. So the guys that are running higher right now, those who are running right on the white line on the bottom versus those who are running high side, man, if we get into a long green flag run situation, I'd be watching for the guys that are running on the high side to be the ones that start moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. As we're watching the 23 of David Applegate right now in that MSTV Chevrolet, he just gets into the wall barely there, but he's running as high as he can, and he's actually going to get passed by the 45 of Steve Silstad, as he's going to take to the bottom side. So again, the bottom it may be a little bit faster because it's shorter, but it's going to eat those tires up pretty quick, as it now looks like David Applegate is going to be passed by John Ottenbacher in the number 89 machine. So again, we may see David come back later. He's conserving those tires quite a bit right now by not challenging these guys, as now Kip Leo in the 16 is going to get by him as well.
Speaking of getting by people, Sean Brightsman in the 46 machine, your new leader here. He has gotten by Josh Cushman in the 95, put Cushman in third place. Matt Henry has managed to squeak by as well. So Cushman in third, Henry second. Your new leader, Sean Brightsman, in the 46 machine, just managed to make a solid, clean pass. Nothing hurried about it. Both drivers a little bit of give and take here in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say he definitely pushed to get to that lead. I'm pretty sure that Matt Henry and Josh Cushman probably let him by fairly easy. They knew there was no reason to try to battle with him. It's just, there's no point this early, and let him by. Let him wear out his tires and then get him back here in the next few laps. Right now we are in the danger zone. 7 laps of 120, now 8 laps. So these tires are gone at this point. So it looks like everyone has been conserving. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the next few laps.
John Brightsman, our leader, with a best lap of a 31.521. His last lap of a 32.051. Already losing half a second to his best lap. But here he comes out in front all by himself. His last lap now is going to be a 32.147. So still almost 0.6 of a second down. Here, just within a handful of laps, not even 10 laps, and has already lost half a second.
Yeah, he has. And looking back here to Jeff Stabnow, who looks like he's going to get by Josh Cushman. And that's, again, the number 24, Walls of Beardco, new leader Chevrolet. He is battling hard. He had it there, but it looked like he got a little out of shape there. You saw a little wiggle coming out of turn 4. And again, we mentioned that is the problem child here tonight. Turn 4 is a danger zone. So we will declare that a very bad spot. Right now, with those tires coming out of turn 4 into that trio, that is probably the trickiest spot here on the track. So he does get a little out of shape. You saw a little wiggle, and he recovered from that and let off, and he's going to make another run here, Josh Cushman.
You're picking turn 4 as the danger zone, but let's not forget that turn 2 equally as tricky, in my opinion. I cannot tell you how many times as a driver here on iRacing at Atlanta I've set up the truck series passes. We're under yellow, and I don't know what happened.
It looks like Tom Green involved here. So let's go back and take a look and see exactly what happened. What happened to Tom Green here as we're watching him? Oh, contacting him in the 9. We're taking a look at the 9. I forgot who that was that he got into. Their major contact, that was Brandon Peters, who is already on pit road. So major contact between those two. That's going to put Peters on pit road. Tom Green as well. He is on pit road, but there he is. He is sitting on pit road. So 2 cars out. 12 laps in. That's definitely more than 5. And I did talk to Jeff Stabnow earlier. He predicted probably 15 to 20 lap runs before these tires would cause major problems, and we saw caution. So about 12 laps in, so he was not far off on his prediction.
Not far off, and I don't think we're going to be far off in the fact that everyone is going to come down and take tires here. We see the 46 of Sean Brightsman, our current race leader, first car on pit road. He's coming down. Will he take 4 tires? Will he take 2? Not really sure how the strategy is going to pay out for this pit stop. But very early in the race, if you want to do 2 tires, now's the time to try it out.
It does indeed, and it looks like we have a lone survivor out there staying on the track. Chris Sherburne did not come to pit road as everybody else came down. He is going to regain the lead here. It looks like, Doug Hunt is being shown as the leader at the moment. Again, you watching him come off of pit road. Chris Sherburne did not take a pit stop.
Sherburne did not take a pit stop. I have Doug Hunt as well scored in the lead, but I think he just happened to get across the start-finish line before Sherburne.
I did.
But Sherburne has not pitted. He is right behind the pace truck.
Definitely did.
Pace car.
Yeah, we're used to pace trucks on the dirt side, but here it is that Ford Mustang. Indeed, Sherburne has reclaimed the lead once again, so he's going to get out there and lead a lap. I can't picture him staying out there on those tires, but he is not coming to pit road once again. So very interesting here that he is staying out on the 13 lap tires.
Very, very scary situation for Chris Sherburne. Everyone behind him is pitted. That means he is on the oldest tires right now by about 14, 15 laps, as we are currently on lap 14. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause a little bit of a tense situation here when the green flag drops. He's very likely to spin the tires. If he doesn't spin the tires, he's not able to pick up the throttle as fast as the 46 machine on his outside of Sean Brightsman.
It's going to be interesting here is for the moment here, we're going to go on board with the highway onboard cam here with Sean Brightsman. You'll see we're going to hang on with him here in a little bit, and we'll see how much he plays with that wheel just a little bit here for the restart. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get by the 28 of Chris Sherburne pretty quickly, or if those lap tires are not going to affect him. I'm predicting it's going to affect him pretty hard. He is not going to be able to hold on to that lead. Right now, I think that's more about the bonus point.
Sherburne is hoping for another quick yellow, in my opinion. He's got to do everything he can to not lose ground in these fresh tires. If he gets another quick yellow, he will have gained a lot of ground, but I think he is going to lose out here in the long run.
He is indeed, as Sean Brightsman took the lead there. We're riding on board with him for that restart, and you saw just at the bottom, Chris Sherburne did get past, and he is falling back down the fourth now. We're going to switch back to our main camera here, as you'll take a look here to Chris Sherburne. He has dropped all the way back to 5th position, so he is falling like a rock. Those tires are old. He definitely, I would imagine, just got out there so he could lead a lap, but it is definitely fallen. As now he's going to fall to 7th place, as Josh Cushman is going to get by him as well. And here comes the 53 of Carl Burke.
Carl Burke, my last week's pick, who didn't necessarily win, but he didn't let me down. He's running a new paint scheme, and we do have the yellow out once again. I think Trenton Barrington is in trouble.
He is on pit road, so we'll go back here and take a look, see what happened. The question is, what happened? Was it tires? Looked like he's already on pit road at that point. I'm not sure what happened to him. Oh, the 5 got into the wall. Oh, no, it was the 7 that did it. Brett Johnson. He got clipped there by, not sure who it was. It may have been Adam Hunt there. They made contact and put him into the wall. He went around, and Brett Johnson would bring out the caution. Trent Barrington just went to pit road. Not sure why, but he did go in indeed to try to get some fresh tires. Maybe he forgot fuel or something happened, as he was on pit road, and he will now be 1 lap down.
A crazy restart there. A couple cars in trouble early, having to pit, maybe not pitted when they should have. And here we are under yellow once again. And that is going to play into the hands. Well, maybe not. Chris Sherburne looks to have pitted now. So I thought maybe Chris Sherburne was going to win out here with this quick yellow, but not so much, as I currently have him scored in 20th.
He is indeed. He's coming back out of pit road now. So he went in there, got some fresh tires. That had to be a decision to lead a lap there for the points battle, as we have a few more cars on pit road, as well as the 23 of David Applegate and the 12 on pit road of Jason Hunt. So those guys coming down to get some fresh tires. So look for those guys, the 23 of David Applegate, the 12 of Jason Hunt. Sherburne in 16th now. So he definitely knew what he was doing there. You know, he got that quick caution like he probably was planning on. He was able to go in. He led his lap, got that bonus point. Now he went in, got some fresh Goodyears, and he's sitting in 15th. So he got the bonus point, and, you know, even if he doesn't win, he's still going to get that extra point for the point standings, and he's not a lap down now.
He's not a lap down, and he is, as far as I can tell, the third car on fresh tires. So everyone in front of Sherburne, minus Jason Hunt, in the 12 machine, he is also on fresh tires. But everyone in front of these guys is on 7 laps or older tires. So that's going to make for an interesting dichotomy, as we see Sherburne, who stayed out a little bit earlier to lead a lap, and now here he is on fresher tires, but only by a little bit. But I'd be watching for that 6-7 lap gap difference to make a large time gain for Sherburne here if we go more than a couple laps green.
Yeah, definitely. As we were looking here, Jeff Stabnow currently in second position. So it's going to get interesting to see if he can walk away with the win here, as he's the one, we talked to him, he and others have been so frustrated in practice, but he currently is sitting second here in the race with lap 20 about to get underway, and that should put us with the green flag. Oh, lights are still on, so we're going to wait till lap 21 to get the green flag.
Lap 21 of 120 here at Atlanta. 120 laps is definitely going to be a, how would you say, a mental challenge, a driver challenge, all kinds of challenges that you could talk about. 120 laps here at Atlanta. I would be worn out just thinking about 120 laps.
Yeah, definitely I would as well. With only our second caution for 2 laps, still 101 laps to go, as we are going to get the green flag here with 100 laps to go.
The field's starting to form up 2 by 2 here. Lights are out on the pace car. Sean Breitzman, your front runner. Jeff Stabnow on his outside. Jeff Stabnow, a very, very solid driver here in this league. One of the guys who said, oh no, don't pay any attention to me, I'm not going to win a whole lot of races. And every time, here he is out front in almost every situation we could think of.
He is indeed. So I'm not going to listen to him when he says that anymore, because he's definitely out front. It looks like he may try to get a good run here. It's what he needs. You've got to get a good run and get by to get that lead. As there it is, pace car is off, green flag is out. We're back racing once again here in your race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Hotlanta as you like to say. Well, it looks like Sean Breitzman got a huge lead. That's what he need to do. Got a fantastic start over Jeff Stabnow.
Normally on a super speedway, a huge lead is a detriment to you, but here at Atlanta, if you can get a good jump, it's not such a penalty on you, and you're able to pull out and run some solid laps without any pressure. And if you can run laps without any pressure here at Atlanta, you can lay down some quick lap times. And Jeff Stabnow looking to close the gap on Sean Breitzman as they head into 1 and 2.
They are, and here comes his teammate Mark Walls. He's going to try to get into the mix in that number 29 machine and see if he can't make something happen here. And while they're battling here for just a minute, why not? It's time here, lap 22. Let's go for a little crank it up here and let you guys get up close and personal with these cars. Alright, we are back here for the moment here. As you can see, David Applegate right now in the number 23 battling extremely hard with the 35 going in there. He's trying to mix it up. Chris White just ahead of him. Kit Leo in the 16. That is a huge group of guys right now battling back for 11th position. And these guys are not going to give up any position just yet. Too easy. They don't want to fight too hard. But they are definitely going to fight as hard as they can. They're going to battle hard as Car had to step away for just a moment. And it looks like, take a look here, we got a big wreck in the back. No cautions coming out. So interesting enough here, no caution is coming out for these two. So we'll go back up here as we had another car spinning around. And again, still no caution is coming out. Take a look, it is Brad Cornell who's on pit road. But back up to the front here, we have a good lead going on. So we got a good lead going on up here at the front. But we had a spin there just a minute ago, Kara, but no caution came out.
No caution came out because the spin happened below the racing surface. The 9 machine is still hanging out below the white line. Adam Hunt in trouble early here. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon Peters in the 9 machine. Adam Hunt is a 09, so please forgive that confusion. But yeah, as long as you're behind or below the white line here at Atlanta, the yellow will not come out for no matter what you do.
Yeah, definitely not. Looking back here to the front, Jeff Stabnow may be making a run for the lead here on Sean Brightsman in the next few laps. Looking at their last laps, Brightsman was just a tick faster, but that's not slowing down Jeff Stabnow at all. He's making a run for the lead here, and we may see a new lead change here in the next 2 to 3, maybe 5 laps.
Stabnow hungry for this lead, but Sean Brightsman solidly in front as your leader right now. And Brightsman has a little bit of a gap. What that can do for Brightsman, he can manage that gap. If he is that fast, he can maintain a distance. He doesn't have to necessarily push the car as hard. He's got that fresh air going across the nose of his car, so he gets all the downforce he needs. Jeff Stabnow, however, doesn't get as much downforce. He can get a little bit of aero push going into the corners, so he has to turn the wheel just a little bit more. All of this plays to the advantage of Brightsman, who's out front. And I'm currently watching the 5 machine pulling into the pits right now.
Yeah, that's Dana Rogers pulling it down to pit road. Has damage to the right side of that truck, maybe contact with the wall. As we'll see, they're going to pull it in there. Already a lap down, and they're going to go multiple laps down. We'll see how that night goes for them. I'm not sure, but that night could be over for them.
Dana Rogers in trouble here early. If you want to get in trouble, though, early is when you want to do it. And Jason Swank as well in the 75 machine. He is also being scored multiple laps down, but he's still out there turning some laps. He hasn't given up, Jason Swank in the 75.
Definitely has not. We'll take a look here. Checking again with Sherburne. He's now in 17th as he's still getting past. Actually, my correction, he just passed the 14 of Mike Peterson. Didn't think he was going to, but he did get by him. And he's passing cars. Now you're going to see the 5 down on the apron of Dana Rogers. We're going to go one more lap down. But one I figured we would see a little bit further up right now is Chris White as a caution's going to come out.
Caution is out, and I'm not sure what has happened just quite yet. I think Matt Henry got in trouble.
He did. He is stuck in the infield, so let's go back and take a look. Oh, Matt Henry going around stuck in the infield. Did he have help is the question. It doesn't look like he did. No, just gets out of shape, turns it right, smashes the outside wall hard. Oh, Josh Cushman gets a piece of him as well. That's going to spin them both around in the infield. Josh Cushman's going to be able to roll off, but the 19 of Matt Henry is dead in the water.
I currently have Josh Cushman scored 1 lap down. Our pole sitter, our quick time, the number 95 machine, Josh Cushman, scored 1 lap down, and it looks like he's on an extensive pit stop here to get the repairs needed to get back out there.
Yeah, definitely. He's been on pit road going on about 40 seconds, so he is going to get some repairs done. It was a hard lick, but it definitely may not be a night ender. It's probably a race winner. Hope's gone out the window, but maybe not a complete night ender here, as he can get in, get some repairs done. And like we said earlier, everybody's coming to pit road. As you see, every single truck coming down the right side of pit road. Nobody's going to stay out. As they learned earlier, it's just craziness to do. It looks like one car is going to, but they may be a lap down back there. It looks like the 5 of Dana Rogers is going to stay out because pit road should be closed for them.
So we have almost every car except for the few that are a lap down or laps down. Josh Cushman gets rolling once again. Multiple cars coming off of pit road here. Too many to mention as they get going.
And going to be interesting to see who comes out on top here after everybody does cycle around. As it looks like at the moment, Doug Hunt is going to be your race leader in that number 49 Chevrolet. But again, 17 laps on those tires. We watched earlier. There is no way he is going to survive on those tires. They will eat him alive out there. So this has to be another opportunity to lead a lap here for Doug Hunt.
Doug Hunt has a couple panels bent on his car. Looks like he's getting ready to come down pit road, but you know, if you get the chance to stick out your truck and lead a lap, why not take it, especially if you're in the back of the pack? Doug Hunt doing just that. Now he's pulling in, getting ready to get some fresh tires, get some of that damage repaired that he has on his vehicle.
Yeah, definitely a good choice to go out there and stay, and lead that lap. Actually, surprisingly enough, he didn't lead a lap. Looking at it, because he was so far in the back of the field, when they came by the line, they actually beat him to the line on pit road. So he didn't lead that lap, and coming around the next lap, he just pitted. So he did not actually lead a lap.
Very, very disappointed for him. You got to give him props for trying, but Sean Brightsman back out front in the 46 machine. Jeff Stabnow, the 24 machine, in second. And I'll tell you what, my pick for tonight, Mark Walls in the 29 sitting third. I like my pick so far. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, Andy Vogt for my pick sitting in 6th place right now. That's got to be disappointing, though. If his goal was to go out and lead a lap, which I'm not saying it was, he could have just been staying out, and then deciding last minute to go ahead and go pit in. But if that's what the goal was, that's kind of a little disappointing for him, I'm sure. But right now, Brightsman has led 29, Cushman has led 4, and Sherburne has led 2. So again, he did not get credited with leading a lap, so that is very unfortunate for him.
Speaking of Sherburne, I currently have him scored in 17th place. The 28 machine has a lot of work cut out for him, but we're still kind of early in this race. He's got a lot of laps left. We're on lap 37 of 120, so Sherburne not out of this by a long shot, but definitely has a lot of work cut out for him.
Yeah, he definitely does. One that I want to see, expected to see a little higher up than he is right now. He's still top 10 in 8th place, and that's John Ottenbacher. And I do expect to see him move up further in this race. David Applegate right behind him in 10th place. Right kind of behind him. He is behind him on the track, but Kip Leo right behind him, standing-wise in 9th. So that could be interesting to see, how this all plays out here tonight. As again, Sean Brightsman in that number 46 Walls Beardco Highway Toyota is going to lead them to the green flag this time.
Sean Brightsman getting the green flag in the air. Here we go one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Charging into turn 1. Sean Brightsman getting a good start here. Gonna solidly put himself in the lead. Jeff Stabnow in 2nd. Mark Walls in 3rd. Everyone's starting to form single file within the top 5.
Yeah, definitely they're not battling very hard. And to update everyone real fast here, Brad Cornell, 11 laps down, he's out of the race. Brandon Peters in the number 9, 14 laps down, he's out of the race. Tom Green, early wreck, 15 laps down, he's out of the race. And again, for another week, Scott Hutchinson did not start the race. So I'm not sure how come he did not start again, but he did not start this race as well. As it looks like we got a side-by-side battle going on for 2nd place between Jeff Stabnow and Mark Walls.
Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, and Sean Brightsman. Those are your top 3. These guys, lap after lap, always impressive here in this league. Always one of the front runners, someone that we keep eyes on. And here we are at Atlanta, and once again, these guys are out front. And I'll tell you, the one that I'm watching very closely, mostly because he's my pick, is Mark Walls. He's sitting in 3rd, and he's not trying too hard to make anything happen right now. He's just logging laps.
He is indeed. We're riding on board with him right now with the new leader on a board camera on his car. And we're running from helmet cam here, right, to see exactly what he sees as we're on lap 41 of 120. So laps starting to wind down, but we still have a lot of racing left to go. As he's trying to run down his leader, but we'll jump over to the onboard camera. The other new leader onboard camera here, the 24 Jeff Stabnow, is he is definitely running down Sean Brightsman right now as he's going to try to get to the inside. We'll see. We may have a pass for the lead here in the next lap or 2.
We might, as Jeff Stabnow looking to the inside right now, and maybe gonna pull it off here through 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. But here at Atlanta, just because you got the inside line doesn't mean a thing. You could burn your tires up inside of 1 lap and allow that guy on your outside to get a run on you. Sean Brightsman doing just that. He's hanging tough, but Jeff Stabnow looks like he's going to clear him here and going to assume the position. But as I say that, man, Sean Brightsman not giving up that top spot.
No, as we're running on the left front of Brightsman right now with the highway onboard camera, you can see these two battling it side by side right now, and neither one of these guys wanting to give it up here. And that's going to wear those tires out just a little bit more as these two battle side by side. As finally the 24 is going to get around him. Almost contact made between the two, though.
It's very, very tight coming out of turn 4 when you're on the inside and you have a car on your outside. But Jeff Stabnow did a great job. As long as Sean Brightsman allowed some room there, both drivers did, and they both are able to continue. But meanwhile, crossover by Brightsman. Brightsman now on the inside of Stabnow. Stabnow stuck on the outside. So this is going to be interesting here for another lap or two to figure out who's going to be our leader.
Yeah, definitely is. It looks like that lap is going to go to the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. But again, it's anybody's guess right now. Stabnow's led 3, Brightsman's led 35. They're side by side. They cannot keep this up. If they do, they're going to wear out those tires, and you may see Mark Walls come back into the picture. But again, we don't want to leave these guys right now because that is the top battle. It may not be the biggest group of cars battling, but that's a battle for the lead right now, as Sean Brightsman is not going to give it up. Jeff Stabnow will lead one more lap, but they're still side by side. Now Brightsman's going to take the lead once again.
Now I just want to do a quick roundup for some drivers in the back. Matt Henry scored 2 laps down. Very solid driver week in and week out. Had a little bit of an issue here, and he is in the battle with some cars around him that he's not racing for position, but he's trying to do everything he can to make sure that he gets back on this lead lap. So Matt Henry in a lot of trouble here early, but might be able to make something of it if he can catch the yellows correctly.
Yeah, he definitely can. As we have the battle cam up between first and second, 0.002 at the scoring line. That is what's separating the front 2 cars right now. That was at the last scoring line. That is utterly ridiculous as to how close these guys are to each other here at the front.
The battle up front definitely is intense. Meanwhile, Andy Vogt, your guy for this week to win, holding on to 5th place, just logging laps, not a lot of cars around him, no pressure on him, and he's doing a good job, just found a little spot to run right now. And also John Ottenbacher, one of the drivers we'd like to watch week in and week out, as he can have a downturn, but when the checkered flag flies, he finds a way to make it up front. He's currently running 6th, so he's still someone to consider throughout this field.
Yeah, definitely he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. One we don't normally talk about, Gary Nichols, right behind him in the 8 car. He's putting a solid run here in a top 10 finish back in 17th. And it looks like last week winners Chris White's going to try to get into the mix as well. So we'll see if he can't possibly get up there and have something for him.
A lap ago, I just watched the 16 car of Kip Leo, someone who I said to keep an eye on. He went through the infield on the front stretch, managed to maintain pace, didn't lose too many spots, but cutting through the grass here. And here he is. He's still inside the top 10, currently running 9th, but under heavy pressure of the 45 machine of Steve Steelstad.
Now, Steelstad is definitely giving him a lot of pressure. If he can try to get up there, he will try to take that position from him. Again, that is for a solid top 10, 9th place. Right now, that is a battle for 9th place. Right outside, a few car leagues behind is in 11th place, the 23 of David Applegate, trying to get up there. Chris Sherburne, though, back to him. He's sitting in 13th. He has fallen back as far as 17th. I do believe he does have some damage to the back of that truck. Looks like he may have got run into, but it's not slowing him down. He's working his way back through the field. So again, he did lead 2 laps, so he got that bonus point, and he is definitely going to be utilizing that in the point standings.
You know, the 89 machine of John Ottenbacher, we have a huge fan of his here in the YouTube chat channel, but Ottenbacher has his hands full. He has no idea that he's got a fan here in the chat because he is so busy holding on to the spot that he's got. He's got the 19 machine of, who's in the 19 car?
19, that belongs to someone actually 2 laps down, Matt Henry. So
Matt Henry, yeah. Totally lost my spot there. So Ottenbacher having to fight with Matt Henry, who's laps down, but doing a great job, man. I'll tell you what, Ottenbacher, still early for his style. Ottenbacher is going to make a move here within the final stages of the race. He likes to log laps, run a clean race, And then, lo and behold, when the checkered flag comes out, there he is inside the top 5.
Definitely is. Chris White just got by him to put him in 7th place, as Chris White's going to take 6th place. But again, a very good solid run for both these drivers, as Gary Nichols is going to take it in the 16. Kip Lilio's going through the grass. What a save for him. I don't know how he did it, but let's go back and take a look at that real fast. I am not sure how he did that. He went through the grass, managed to save it after going through it with some big jumps there, as we're watching the replay here of it real fast. There he is. He gets it in, gets it a little too low, gets into the grass, almost gets into the 8 car. If it does save it, goes through the grass. And what a good save for Kip Leo in the number 16 Machinist. We will go back up to live. Now he's battling. He's actually going to pass the 12 of Jason Hunt.
Kip Leo, one of the drivers who I mentioned in the practice session to keep an eye on. He does have a little bit of damage on his nose cone, and that is going to affect here at Atlanta. You do have enough speed that aero damage is something to consider. However, I don't know how much that damage is affecting him right now, but I can tell you this guy, he's someone that I'm watching because of mostly because of intuition. I trust my intuition, kind of like Kip Leo and John Ottenbacher. These guys, heavily intuition type drivers for me that I watch on a week in, week out basis.
Yeah, and looking back at your pick for the race is Mark Walls. He's up to 2nd place now, but he's 2.1 seconds behind Sean Brightsman, the leader. So he has a huge lap. Again, Sean Brightsman out front with a huge lead.
Sean Brightsman controlling this race in every way that he needs to, has the Walls Beard Co. on the back of his car and the front windshield, wallsbeardco.com. And Mark Walls, one of those guys that we're talking about, sitting in 2nd place, my race pick. And I have a feeling that Mark Walls is just doing what he can to save tires, and he's letting Sean burn his tires down. We got one sideways. I don't know who that was. I just saw him.
That's the 5 of Dana Rogers again going around. Again, like you said, on the apron, no caution's going to come out. Going to fire that truck back up and get it back on to the track here. As we'll see, it looks like they're just going to limp it around. That truck is smoking really bad. So I don't see them getting back onto the track. So taking a look here, we got a really battle going on in the front here, so we'll follow here with the 5 to see if they are going to call it a day or not. Again, no battles going on up at the front.
Dana Rogers here smoking on pit entry. Not really sure what happened to him. I didn't catch it in time to watch the replay, as I only have a few seconds to catch stuff and click over to a replay. But Dana Rogers definitely smoking here, pulling into pit lane, pulling all 4 tires to a stop, and looks like the jack's going underneath one side. I have not seen a fast repair take effect yet, so I'm not sure that he has one available to him, and if not, this is going to be an extensive pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at your leader right now against Sean Brightsman, coming through the dry oval, there it is, going to put him one lap down. He is currently 4 laps down, so unfortunate to go that many laps down, but it does happen, as we may have another one here. Not sure what happened to Andy Vogt. He may have had a connection issue. He is not being showed on the track right now in 13th place.
Andy Vogt, if he's lost connection, that is a rough situation to be in. And as I try and check back at least 50 seconds, I still am not seeing him. So he is in heavy trouble here in the race, in lap 59 of 120, almost halfway for him.
Yeah, definitely. following multiple laps here. As we'll take a look here real fast. We've only had 3 cautions, not as many. I figured we would have at least 5 or 6 by now, the way these drivers were talking, but only 3 cautions for 12 laps out of 62. 59 laps to go, so we're over halfway done with this race, and it so far has not been the caution fest, you might say, that some of these drivers thought it might have been here, as loose as these cars get, like driving on ice out here.
Mike Peterson, the 14 machine, currently scored last car on the lead lap. He's running 16th place, and he is just turning lap after lap, kind of running some solid laps. Nothing wrong on his truck. Looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage, but nothing that can't be overcome. But like I'm saying, 16 cars on the lead lap here. The last one being Mark Peterson.
Yeah, definitely Mike Peterson having a fairly decent run here, top 15 time, as he's going to get by the 17 to put him in 15th place. Oh, contact's made right there together. Now Mike Peterson going through the grass. The 17's about to go around, as we'll jump over to, that is Ryan Maines going to be going around, and that will bring out the caution.
So there you go, caution out for the 17 and 14, getting a little bit together there. Ryan Maines unable to keep it straight and going, but Mike Peterson does, so the caution will fly.
Go back and take a look. We were watching it live. 14, Mike Peterson gets into the 17 of Ryan Maines. 14 actually recovers from it. The 17 tries to. Again, Ryan Maines right there, you see, almost has it, gets it into the wall, spins it around, and looks like so far nobody else gets into the 17 of Ryan Maines, as he's already got damage from the wall and the collision, so he's going to have to come to pit road and get some of that repaired.
John Breitzman, your race leader, waiting to catch up to the pace car here. It's going to be interesting to see, but I have no doubt that almost every lead lap car will come and take tires, whether it be 2 or 4 tires. That is the question, but I have no doubt that almost everyone on the lead lap here will take a pit stop here in this situation.
Yeah, I definitely think you are correct on that as well. Again, 5 to 7 laps and these tires are junk. They got 31 to 32 laps on these tires. So, these tires have got to be total garbage at this point, as it looks like everyone is coming into pit road. So we'll switch to our pit road camera, and we got a few staying out here towards the back. We'll see if those are lap cars. It looks like Josh Cushman stayed out. He is 2 laps down. So lap cars staying out. They can't come in right now because pit road is closed for them. And so good for everyone to come in here. They're going to need these fresh Goodyear tires. Get some fresh rubber on these cars.
Fresh rubber is the key to Atlanta victory. And the question is, do you need 2 or do you need 4? We already have some cars rolling on pit road here, and it looks like the first car off is the 29 machine of Mark Walls. The 46, Sean Breitzman, dropping down to 4th place.
It's very interesting here, as we'll jump up to our new leader here. We'll see if he officially is going to lead a lap. It is being shown as your race leader, Brett Johnson, who did not come to pit road. 32 laps on those tires, and he stayed out.
I think Brett Johnson is one of those who is trying to lead a lap. I imagine that he is going to pit this time around. He is currently running under the white line, looking to make a pit stop here. So that is going to put Mark Walls, my pick for tonight, in first place. Had a great pit stop, made the pass for the lead on pit road essentially, and here he is leading this race.
He is indeed, and if you look right in front of him, that is the 78 of Dan Astuzzi. 1 lap down. He's on the tail end of the lead lap right now. He is going to get a wave around, so he'll be back on the lead lap.
Dan Stussy getting the wave around when he is cleared by iRacing to do so. That will put Mark Walls right behind the pace car on pole position, on control of this field when the green flag starts. So, man, these drivers really make us broadcasters feel smart when they get in front of the ones that, you know, that we pick.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see him back on the lead lap. I want to see, as he's having a connection issue there, just winked out a little bit. He should get that wave around here in just a second. But Mark Walls, like you said, making you look good here, putting that number 29. Walls, Beard Co. new leader at Chevrolet to the front of this field. We'll see how many laps he can lead. And again, everybody did make a pit stop here. We've had 3 to 4 pit stops for everybody. Some of these people with 5 pit stops. So every caution, everybody has come down pit road. Except for Sherburne, who did not one time, but he has now pitted. And looking at him, he is back in 10th place right now.
Sherburne holding on to that top 10 spot. This restart, though, is going to be very important. We got the wave around now of the 78 machine, Dan Stussy. He's got to catch up to the back of the field. And as this field comes out of turn 2 down the backstretch, Mark Walls, my pick, making me feel like a hero right now, leading this race. And I forget, who did you pick?
Andy Vogt, who is currently, if we'll take a look, where is he at? He is back in 22nd, so 7 laps down. I have a feeling my choice is out of the race here for the win. He indeed is on the track though, but just currently 7 laps down.
A bit of an unfortunate situation for you. I think Andy Vogt had a great chance at this race, just had outside circumstances. Meanwhile, green flag getting in the air. Here we go. Mark Walls in the lead, getting a great start. That inside line getting a great jump here. The 46 is Sean Breisman back into second.
Yeah, definitely. While everyone's bunched up here, let's step away just a moment here and let's go to the wall cams and let you see just how close these guys are getting to that wall here running this track. Caution is out once again. Let's switch cameras here, and it looks like caution is gonna be for, if we can find it here, not sure who brought the caution out. We'll take a look here at Ryan Maines in the 17 and see if that's what it was for. It is indeed the 17 of Ryan Maines going around. Let's take another look here. Go back just a little bit further. What happened to the 17 of Ryan Maines going around here? Was it loose or did he have some help? That's going to be the question here as it comes down there. We'll take another angle if we can. Oh, the 10 checks up not to hit the 49, spins him around. Big time, a major checkup, so as to not get into the another car or truck in front of him. That is unfortunate for Ryan Maines as we go back to live, as it looks like he is indeed done for the night here. He is going to take it off of pit road and into the trailer. Carl Burke being shown as leader, not going to go to pit road. Everybody else coming down pit road, though. Let's take a look here. It looks like Chris Sherburne's not going to pit as well. So 2 drivers not making pit stops once again. And we're going to make it 3 as Brett Johnson is not going to pit as well in the number 7 machine. So another caution very quickly here.
Very quick caution. Carl Burke staying out, gonna try and lead some laps here, taking a gamble. He's only got 7 laps on his tires, and he's got at least 3 cars, maybe 4 cars that's going to be between him and fresh tires. So not a bad gamble to make right now for Carl Burke.
No, definitely not. And he, like you said, he's got that padding behind him of cars that did not pit as well. In 7 or 8 laps, that's still in the danger zone, I guess you could say, but it's not 32 laps or, a big chunk, so not as many as we have seen in the past. As we take a look here at our cautions, that is our 5th caution of the night. Only 16 laps under caution, though, out of 74. Now we're 47 to go, so we have under 50 laps to go here in the race.
Carl Burke, my pick for last week to win the race. Here he is out front, and he's in front of my pick this week, Mark Walls, in the 29, sitting in 6th currently. So I'll tell you what, this is going to be interesting. Quite the lap difference, even though one's on 8-lap old tires, the other one is on 1-lap old tires. Mark Walls and Carl Burke. And I'll tell you, if it came down to me and I was the driver in this race, I'd be the one that I was wishing on fresher tires.
Yeah, definitely I'd want those fresh Goodyears. Get some fresh rubber. Yeah, I think it's going to play a big factor here. We'll see what those 7, 9 lap tires do here for Carl Burke, Chris Sherburne, and Brett Johnson. And this could be what Sherburne was doing earlier, as we saw him get off cycle with the rest of these guys. As he's back up front, he may have a master plan here to get that car to the front, as he's doing right now in 2nd place.
If you want to talk about a master plan, we cannot leave out John Ottenbacher, sitting 4th right now. He's got fresh tires. He's one of the front runners with fresh tires. And I'm telling you, this guy, he's crafty. He's going to sneak in somewhere, somehow, as long as he keeps out of trouble. John Ottenbacher is going to be the one to watch right now. But Mark Walls, my pick, I'm not leaving him hanging. I'm still rooting for him. He's got plenty of opportunity. But, man, I'll tell you, this has gotten interesting right now.
It has indeed. As it looks like Carl Burke is just about ready. The lights are off on the pace car. So we're going to get the green flag this time by. So we'll see if he can get this going here. He needs a good start. Again, it's like you said earlier, not Daytona. You need to get the best jump you can if you want to get out front, and that's what he's got to do here.
Carl Burke has got to get the best start of his life. He's on older tires. It's going to make it hard to put the power down as fast as you want to. But he is got a couple cars, or trucks I should say, in a buffer pattern. So he's got to do the best start of his life right here to maintain it. And he looks like he has. He's getting away here very nicely.
Definitely a good start. Looking back to the rest of the field here, you got Chris Sherburne, Brett Johnson, John Ottenbacher, Sean Breitzman, Mark Walls. They're all right there together in one group. So, looked like Ottenbacher may have scraped the wall a little bit. Oh, and contact.
Contact.
The 29 to 7.
He's gone back into the track.
I believe that may have been the 46, as multiple cars getting involved down here at the bottom. Let's go see if we can't find in the 46 of
I got
Breitzman.
the 16 involved as well, Kip Leo.
That was a lot of cars involved there. Hopefully we go back far enough. If not, we'll go back some more. There it is. The 29 gets into the 7, gets into the 46, and then it's on from there. A lot of cars getting involved as we'll go up to, I believe, the 12 getting involved in this as well. Of Adam, or one of the Hunt brothers, if we can find him here. Jason Hunt getting involved. Let's go back a little bit further and watch this. What happened to the 12 of Jason Hunt?
You know, speaking of that, I just got to point out that our couple of drivers who we have said week in and week out are front runners, they managed to squeak through. Mark Walls, John Ottenbacher, Chris White, those guys managed to squeak through that incident with no contact.
Yeah, definitely did. Now you look, Ottenbacher sitting in second position. Again, what a run for these guys. They're putting on a good race here up at the front. Carl Burke out front, and John Ottenbacher sitting in a solid second place. Somehow, like you said, squeezing through all of the incidents that have been here so far.
Chris White scored 8th. He's on pit road right now, getting a little bit of damage repair, getting some tires. So he may not have gotten through as cleanly as I thought. But I'll tell you what, if this guy can get back out on track, he's one to watch because he will be charging through this field in the 35 machine.
Yeah, definitely he is someone to watch, as he definitely would love to put that number 35 SimStar Motorsports truck into victory lane once again. So a good run for him, but again, a little disappointing. He had to repair a little bit of damage. He looks like he did use his fast repair. He was only on pit road a total of 39.9 seconds, and 14.6 so that was for a pit stop. So again, he still has a shot, sitting in 9th place right now. And again, he just got that sponsor of SimStar Motorsports, so I'm sure he would love to put them in victory lane once again to show that sponsor they picked a good driver in him.
Mark Walls driving the www.wallsbeardco.com. My pick for tonight. Lost a lot of ground here in that little run. He's currently scored in 10th place. Had to stop, had to take some tires, got a little bit of damage repaired, but I'll tell you what, this truck looks straight and solid. I don't know if he used a quick repair and fixed everything he had going on, but I'm going to tell you, my eyes are all over the 29 of Mark Walls right now, because I think this guy's going to be charging through the field here in our closing laps.
Yeah, I definitely would not count him out either. He is definitely going to put a good run together. Jeff Stabnow, his teammate, sitting in 6th place right now. Again, in that number 24, new leader, Walls Beard Co. Chevrolet. He's got a little damage, but we'll see if that is going to slow him down here in the closing laps. Again, let's take a quick look at our cautions. 6 cautions, 21. That's 41 laps to go, so we're well over halfway here with only 41 laps to go.
Well over halfway. We are on lap 80 of 120, and oh man, you could score it as lap 81 as they just crossed the start-finish line. So 81 laps completed, 120 total in distance. These guys are starting to form up as the lights have turned off on the pace car.
Yeah, definitely. Again, for anyone that's just tuning in with us here tonight, you're watching the MSTV 180 presented by Sanctuary Studios. Again, big shout out to Highway Equipment Company for jumping on board as a sponsor for the other series they run on Monday night. That is, of course, 2 branches, Highway and a new leader. We have their onboard cameras, and of course, Sanctuary Studios for jumping on board to actually present this race itself, this series. But tonight's race is the MSTV 180, as we do have David Applegate sporting that paint job right there in the number 23. But back up to the front, they're getting ready to get the green flag. So if you want to give them the countdown, it looks like we are just about ready here.
Carl Burke has control of this field in the 53 machine. He's got a little bit older tires than John Ottenbacher, but I don't think that's going to stop him. And here we go. Carl Burke getting a great start. Ottenbacher going to tuck in behind him as they drive off into turn 1. Ottenbacher going to tuck in here. Carl Burke has a bit of a run here. These guys with some older tires need to consider the fact that they are on older tires. And I know what you're thinking. Well, duh, KR, that's a dumb statement. But it is something that you have to keep in mind. You can't drive in as deep. You can't drive off the corner as hard. You have to maintain your pace and not be aggressive when you're on these older tires.
You definitely can't. Carl Burke, obviously, with the most laps on his tire was 16. You got 9, 9, and 8. 9 and 9 are your top 6. Then you get to people with 4 laps and 5 laps on their tires. So they're fairly close to the same amount of wear on these tires when you get second through about 10th or 11th position. Obviously, with Carl Burke having way more than that on those 16 lap old tires. Now 17. Take a look here back to Jeff Stabnow. He was trying the high side. Now he's going to try the low side as the number 8 of Gary Nichols is going to shut the door on him. And he is not going to let him by. But here comes Jeff Stabnow once again in that number 24. New leader Chevrolet. He may take third position from Gary Nichols this next time by on the lap.
Jeff Stabnow has the freshest tires of anyone in front of him. And what that's going to do, that's going to allow him to pick up the throttle a little bit sooner. It's going to allow him to drive into the corner a little bit deeper. And as you can see, as we watch him go in, he is doing just that, and he's doing it to perfection. He's currently in third. John Ottenbacher is going to be his next victim. And Ottenbacher really doesn't have a whole lot of defense against these fresh tires.
No, and it's only 1 lap difference. Stabnow has 10, Ottenbacher has 11, but you can see how easily he's able to get through there. 1 lap doesn't seem to, it seems to be quite a bit of difference, which goes to show you just how much these tires really mean here in this race. As you look right behind him, your pick, Mark Walls, running in 4th. Those two probably going to work together to see if they can't get 2 teammates together, both of them. Again, sponsored by New Leader, part of that highway equipment company, as they're both going to try to push their way by Jeff Stabnow, by John Ottenbacher. Jeff Stabnow does get by him right there, and he will take second position. And now Mark Walls is going to take third position from Ottenbacher and drop him back to a third position. And now it looks like Gary Nichols is going to get by him for a fourth position and knock him all the way back to fifth.
Ottenbacher losing some ground here, mostly because of the tire situation. But if he can hold on here just for a little bit and allow everyone to get on some older tires, his fall off really isn't as bad as everyone else's. He does a great job at maintaining pace, but he has lost ground now to the 24 of Jeff Stabnow and the 29 of Mark Walls. These two drivers, they have attacked Carl Burke, and I'm going to tell you, these guys are going to not settle for anything other than the front place positioning. They want to lead this race.
Yeah, they definitely do here, as Carl Burke with 21 laps compared to 13 for Jeff Stabnow and 10 for Mark Walls now. He's kind of a sitting duck out there, because you can tell 0.311, we'll see at the line when that dare goes there, 0.2, so they're reeling him in very quickly.
Mark Walls, Jeff Stabnow sitting in second and third. As we look at Mark Walls going to the outside of Carl Burke for the lead, but Stabnow might think about taking it 3 wide, decides against it. He's going to try and pass on the outside here, so Carl Burke possibly going to lose 2 spots here within a lap.
Yeah, and that will put Mark Walls as your new leader for here in the race, but not a new leader altogether. He has led 6 laps with that lap. As again, like you said, here comes the 35 of Chris White now, as he gets by Gary Nichols and John Ottenbacher. He's back into the mix. He's going to try to get by both of these. Again, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow and the 35 or the 53 of Carl Burke, as he's going to look like the 35 of Chris White is actually going to push the 53 of Carl Burke back ahead of the 24 of Jeff Stabnow.
Jeff Stabnow running the outside line. That's where I like to be here at Atlanta, so I have no faults there. If Stabnow can maintain his pace on the outside line, he's going to be sitting pretty, because he's going to have a little bit less tire wear if he can run that outside line and not lose a spot.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about it earlier. Running that outside line the way they are, you don't have to. You can kind of just let off the gas and let it coast through there. Shoving it to the inside, or in this case, holding your competition down to that inside line, forces you to have to turn that wheel, which scuffs those tires even more, and that's what's causing those tires to wear. So that's actually, it's kind of, some people have called it dirty. I don't call it dirty. I call it racing. You hold your competition down there towards that line, make them wear those tires out. They have the choice. They can either lift, get back behind you, and then do it back to you, or they can lift and run behind you. But either way, that is a good strategy to use to wear out those competition's tires.
It is a solid strategy, as we see the 5 machine tucked to the inside here. Chris White having a great run right now. Really one of the fastest cars on the track right now, reeling in everyone since this restart. And the way he's closing in on our leader, Mark Walls, he might be in the lead within a lap or two.
Yeah, definitely. He is right there with him. 0.149 seconds off of him, and he is closing that gap very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if coming out of turn 4, he's not our new leaders. He's 0.066 off of the lead now.
Chris White got the inside line here. Can he get a run? And looks like he does. He's going to clear Mark Walls for the lead. Put Chris White as a leader here at Atlanta. Chris White getting it done here in what could be the pass for the race. If this thing goes green flag the rest of the way, that was the move for the win.
Yeah, it definitely was. As we'll take a look here at our cautions real fast. 6 cautions, 22 laps under, 26 laps to go. Going to be 25 at the line. Right there is the line, I believe. There it is. 25 laps to go. We've had 10 lead changes here in the race, but again, we have 25 laps left. That is it here in this 125 lap race, or 120 lap race.
Sorry, I'm running out of words to say. My voice is failing me. I've been in 2 exciting broadcasts tonight, and everything I can do right now to hold myself together, and I'm failing at it, so please forgive me as my voice fails me. Chris White holding on to this solid lead, putting together a great run here at Atlanta. Mark Walls sitting in 2nd, Jeff Stabnow 3rd, Carl Burke 4th, and John Ottenbacher holding on to the top 5 spot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Ottenbacher can get that number 89 Highway Walls Beard Co. Toyota back to the front, as he is out of shape there. Whew, he saves it somehow. He's going to go through the track there, or through the grass off track, but he does save it. Again, 24 laps on those tires compared to 19 or less for these other guys. You can tell right there those tires are worn out, and he just about spun it around, as that will let Gary Nichols in the 8 back by him for that position.
That just gives you a little glimpse of what kind of driver Ottenbacher is. He's on these older tires, able to hold on to it as he got a little crossed up. Only lost 1 spot to Gary Nichols, who was already right behind him. So any mistake with the driver who's right behind you, you're going to lose that spot. But Ottenbacher only managed to lose 1 spot and able to keep going. But, Steve Selstad, he's not too far behind. So he's, looking for another mistake out of this top 5 driver of Gary Nichols or John Ottenbacher.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we'll see if he can do it. One other we want to look for is actually he's off the track. Kip Leo went through the grass earlier. So that is unfortunate that he is now out of the race. Ryan Main's also out of the race. Adam Hunt still on pit road. He's been there for about 10 minutes or so. Brad Cornell, Brandon Peters, Tom Green out of the race. Again, we said Scott Hutchinson did not start the race, so that is unfortunate for those drivers. But Chris White is out front, and he currently has a 1.55 second lead.
That being said, we have 12 cars on the lead lap. 12th place, Trenton Barrington, the final car in the lead lap. The last car out there turning laps, Mike Peterson in 21st place in the 14 machine. And we have several discrepancies. We have 2 laps down. Sean Brightsman, one of the guys we were watching up front for a lot of laps, he's now scored 2 laps down, but he is also the first car who is 2 laps down.
Yeah, definitely. As Steve Silstad just got a little out of shape. You saw a little wiggle there coming out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. He does manage to recover, but that's going to let the 46 by him. But again, as you said, he is currently the 2 laps down, so unfortunate. He had such a good run. And even to this point, we're on lap 102 in the race. Sean Brightsman has led 57 laps. He's actually led the most laps here in the race still. Nobody's been able to touch him so far, with Carl Burke leading 16. That is the second most laps led. So the guy 2 laps down has led the most laps here in the race.
That he has Chris White out front in the 35 machine, doing a great job. Mark Walls in second, Carl Burke third, Gary Nichols fourth, and Ottenbacher and Stabnow. They can't decide who wants to finish where, and yellow flag is flying right now.
What a save for Jeff Stabnow. He was just about to turn that thing sideways when the caution came out, and it looks like it's going to be for Jason Swank, who has stopped dead in the middle of the try over there. Let's go back and take a look and see just what happened. We didn't get back just quite enough. Let's go back again here and we'll see. Again, just spinning around there. I'm sure it was all by himself. He has nobody around him, as he has 29 laps on those tires. There it is right there. Just going to get it out of shape. Gets it into the outside wall, scrapes it, and thinks he has it saved. When he hits the gas again, it just slams it into the wall again, and right there hits the wall and turns it completely around. Oh, unfortunate, but again, those tires are old. Nearly 30 laps on those tires. Well, taking a look here, we're going to go to our pit stop camera, and it looks like everybody's coming down pit road to get some fresh tires.
Multiple drivers taking to pit road here. I was a little busy rubbing my eyes, so please forgive me. Mark Walls coming off pit road first here, according to my scoring. So a great pit stop for him. Whether or not he took 2 tires or 4, I was unable to see it, as I had my knuckles in my eyes trying to get some moisture to him. But Mark Walls, my pick for tonight. And he looks like he's in first place. Carl Burke in second. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Stabnow, John Ottenbacher, some of the drivers who we keep a constant eye on, ones that we expect to win week in and week out, they're still within contention, as we're only within lap 105 of 120. This is getting interesting here, as everyone's going to be on fresh tires. Everyone's going to be set for fuel. Strategy has gone out the window. It's going to come down to who can really get the most out of their car here in the final closing laps.
Yeah, definitely with 15 laps to go here. This race is definitely gonna be a tire strategy. Who can get the best out of them? The question is, do you run them to the bare bones right now and get as much out of it as you can and hope that everybody else does the same thing to try to get by you? Or do you kind of hold off just enough to stay behind, stay in contention, and then in those last 5 to 10 laps, which is only 5 laps now, so let's say the last 5 to 8 laps, just hammer down and work your way through this field for all these people that have worn off their tires?
You know, man, I can't tell you how this race is going to wind up. But what I can tell you is some of these drivers are really, really good at turning off a quick lap for 1 or 2 laps. They'll burn their equipment within those 2 laps. But we have more than 2 laps left. So I still have no idea how this is going to go. This is absolutely up in the air. Everything's getting crazy as these guys start to form up 2 by 2, getting ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, definitely they are getting ready to get that green flag. As looks like Carl Burke will be starting it here. Not sure what the 29 is doing, Mark Walls. He's just giving the pace car a little pump, seeing if he can't possibly maybe get some drafting out of the pace car. Unfortunately, I think the pace car would win, as it can't wreck.
The pace car can't wreck, but we have one car on the white or below the white line there. Don't know if he's been given an EOL or what the situation is, but Mark Walls, the 29 machine, my pick for tonight. And I've got to bring it up. Man, I want this guy to win because I picked him. I feel he's due. But Carl Burke, a solid driver on his outside. Jeff Stabnow sitting in 3rd. Here we go. Pace car is off. Green flag in the air. Here we go. Mark Walls getting a great jump. Jeff Stabnow not letting him get too far away. And Carl Burke tucking into 3rd spot.
He is indeed Jeff Stabnow. That's teammates 1 and 2 right now. Mark Walls and Jeff Stabnow, 2 teammates there in those number 29 and 24 new leader Walls Beardco Chevrolets. So 1-2 finish for your team. That could be very interesting if they can get a 1-2 finish for their team here tonight. Carl Burke, your pick, running currently in 3rd place. So very interesting. Those 3 have kind of spread out here. So it makes you wonder is, are they all kind of laying off just a little bit? Or are they all pushing it so hard right now that they're spreading out that much?
I would have to say that if I was in their shoes, I would be pushing it very, very hard right now. I would let nothing hold me back. I would try to leave it all on the track right now. I have a feeling that this race is going to go the rest of the way green flag, so I want to try and open up that gap as much as possible. Meanwhile, I've been watching Gary Nichols, John Ottenbacher, and the 45 machine of Steve Selstad. These guys sitting in 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're not giving up yet. Just because they're not leading this race doesn't mean they've given up. These guys fighting for every inch they can gain, and I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing between these 3 drivers.
Yeah, and it looked like there for a minute, the 8 of Gary Nichols, you saw the rear end of that truck come out just a little bit. He had to lift off the gas, and that may do it for John Ottenbacher. He got right to the back bumper in that highway. Toyota was just unable to quite get up there to him. As we'll take a look here back to the front. There for just a split second, 0.133 seconds separate Jeff Stabnow from Mark Walls. I really thought we were about to have a pass there for the lead, but it didn't work itself out. So the question is, those 2 teammates, are they running? Obviously, we know they're together here in TeamSpeak, working together in radio chat, but are they content with where they are? They very well could be just kind of hanging out where they are, just enough to stay ahead of Carl Burke. And we may see a drag-out battle between them 2 for the race win. We have 9 laps to go. Going to be 8 at the line.
Carl Burke not a part of their team. The 29-24 working together. Carl Burke all by himself here. The front two runners are on a team, but I'll tell you, man, I just had a feeling about Mark Walls. Doesn't mean that I'm correct, but the fact that I'm seeing him out front here in the closing stages of the race, it's kind of solidifying for me what I felt watching him in practice. Here he is out front. Jeff Stabnow, another driver who we talk about constantly, who felt he wasn't solid. He's running second. So we got two drivers who really don't feel like they should win, and here they are running 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you talk to Jeff, he'll tell you on these mile-and-a-half tracks who the favorites are to win. He'll tell you Mark Walls and Sean Breitzman. Obviously, Breitzman is 1 lap down with 7 to go. He's actually the first car a lap down. Keep in mind, if we had a caution right now, we would have a 1-lap shootout. He'd be back on the lead lap. If we have a caution here at about 2 more laps to go, if we have a caution from that point on, the race is over. So he can't get his lap back then, but he would be the lucky dog if it came out. Right now, we may have a shot at a 1-lap shootout. But his night looks to be done as far as winning, but still a solid top 15 finish. But I'm really not sure as we're watching this lead right now. It's not much of a battle right now. 6 laps to go. I can almost promise you Jeff Stabnow will make at least one major run trying to get by Mark Walls for the lead. And hopefully they don't wad it up trying to do so, as they got lap cars coming up, and it looks like it's going to be the 75 taking it to the bottom.
The 75 allows both lead cars to get around, and Carl Burke washing up a little bit there. That's going to cost him some time, leave a little bit of a gap. And as we talk about Jeff Stabnow trying the outside of Mark Walls, thinks better of it as he goes into turn 1, tucks in behind him. Mark Walls doing a great job here, holding on to the lead. And I'm going to be biased here, but man, come on, Mark Walls. I am clapping for you, man. Get it done. You are my pick. Let's see you win.
And it definitely he may do it here. And why not just for a lap or two here? Let's go on board with Jeff Stabnow and see if he can get it done here. As we will go to the cockpit camera here, turn on the on-board camera. Again, running on board with Jeff Stabnow in the number 24 with a new leader on board camera here. 3 laps to go. There is lap traffic coming ahead. You can see that, but I don't think it's going to be a factor here tonight.
Mark Walls has moved up a little bit of a lane here through 3 and 4. Jeff Stabnow still able to hold the bottom, but Mark Walls gets a great run down the front stretch. I'm not sure what lane I want to be in if I was out in this situation, but Walls is doing a great job running a little bit higher than Stabnow. Stabnow will do everything he can to pass his teammate, pass him cleanly. And I'll tell you what, I really hope that Mark Walls makes me look like an absolute genius and calling him as the winner on lap 1.
And definitely, as they're going to cross the line here, that will put us at 1 to go. So we'll switch back to our main camera. White flag is in the air. We're going to keep right up here. As here it comes. I think we're about to see Jeff Stabnow try to make his shot for the lead. If he can do it, he gets a little out of shape, maybe a little wiggle there. And it looks like that may have cost him the win here. He's going to have to settle for second, but I'm not too sure. Here he comes once again to the inside. I just don't think he has the momentum to get by Mark Walls.
Mark Walls running that outside line. That is where Stabnow in trouble. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened there as I was watching Mark Walls. Mark Walls is going to win it. Stabnow and third place Carl Burke in trouble there, crossing the start-finish line.
Let's go back and take a look. Looked like he got into the grass there. We just caught it off the edge of the camera. As we'll go back here and take a look and see what happened. Hopefully it's not over yet. There it is. Okay, this is the battle for the lead.
I wasn't giving room.
There he is right there. Oh, major contact with the wall. Still finishing third place, actually. So we will step away here for just a minute, folks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your post-race show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with your post-race show. Coming in third place. Thought he had second for a while. Then we weren't sure after the wall ride there. He got into the wall, but Jeff Stabnow, yeah, had a little incident, you might say, there to finish the race. A very clean race all day. Didn't see as many cautions as we thought we would see. So on our side, fairly caution-free race as far as, we were thinking, somewhere along 10 to 12 cautions from what we saw in practice. But I believe he only had about 6 or 7 cautions total. So what was those last few laps? Did you think you had anything for Mark Walls?
I thought I did. I got up there beside him on that one, and I don't know what was going on. Computer just kind of started glitching there a little bit, and we dang near wrecked on the one to go, and then I backed out of that, and I went for it again on the last corner there, and we had the same little stutter problem, and this time I didn't save it and got into Carl. I think I got into Carl. I'm not sure. I was spinning donuts there across the start-finish line, but what a wild race.
Definitely was. The end of it, you couldn't get a crazier finish there. Again, little contact there, I believe it was, with Carl. There for a minute it showed you in second, then you were in third and back to second and ended up finishing third. So I don't even think iRacing knew where you finished. So interesting finish to say the least for the top three. But that should do you really good in the point standings. I believe if we looked, you were the points leader coming into the night, so it should keep you a little bit higher in the point standings. And any sponsors or shout-outs? And we know you got some sponsors out there, so any shout-outs you want to give?
Absolutely. First of all, big shout-out to you guys there at MaxSpeedTV for sponsoring this race. What you guys do for us, just amazing. We love watching your broadcasts afterwards, and I think what a lot of guys don't know is you guys work with us all week long. It's not just a race day thing. You guys are in our practices with us, talking to us, hanging out with us, working on overlays and things like that all week. So just an amazing partnership. Obviously, the new leader and Highway, they sponsor our team. They are sponsors of the series. So big shout out to them. Walls Beard Co. been riding with us since the beginning. Can't say enough about Walls Beard Co. www.wallsbeardco.com. Get out there, buy yourself some beard products. You want to. And the series sponsor, Sanctuary Studio, stepped up this year and actually sponsored the entire series. So as far as the title sponsorship, big shout out to them. Josh, happy birthday, Josh, by the way. His birthday today. So thanks to all them that make this happen.
All right. Yes, big shout out to all of them. Again, this was the MSTV 180, so 120 laps here. Finishing second place, we'll hand the mic down. We believe KR has them in the pits, so KR, I'm going to interview them.
Mr. Carl Burke, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Carl Burke, I had you picked as the race winner for last week. You didn't necessarily win, but you didn't disappoint me. You got a top 5. Here you are, second place once again inside the top 5. Oh man, you are one of my favorite drivers, quickly climbing up the charts. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Well, I just tried to bide my time, and I don't think I really had anything for the front two. I was just trying to hang in there and hoping that they had some kind of disaster, which they almost did. And so it was just I think I had a top 5 car is about what I had.
So having a top 5 car, you finish in second. I apologize for that. You finish in second, but you're watching two teammates go at it in first and second, and then lo and behold, you wind up between them, and you see them going all crossways, coming to take the checkered. Give us a little bit of rundown of your thought process and what you're thinking here in this final race here in Atlanta, or final laps. Sorry.
Well, like I said, I knew they were teammates. I didn't think they'd take each other out, but they were sure going at it pretty hard, and everybody was loose, really loose. And so I was kind of hoping for, some kind of break on that. I got one position because of that, because when Jeff got loose, and then I almost got by him, and he clipped me though, just as I didn't quite get by him. So we all went spinning and caused everybody to wreck.
All right, well, Carl Burke, man, I'll tell you what, I had you picked last week. You didn't disappoint me at all. You haven't disappointed again tonight. So anybody you'd like to thank, sponsors, family, maybe say hello to Mom as we give this interview to you?
No, I'd just like to ditto what Jeff said. He elaborated really well about the sponsors, Sanctuary Studios and Highway and Mark Waltz Beards, and just you guys for sponsoring this race. You guys, we love watching your broadcast. Like he said, it's always a fun thing, and we look forward to being back next week.
All right, well, thank you very much, Carl, and I'll look forward to picking you next week, and week in and week out, you're one of my favorite drivers.
Well, thanks for the the vote of confidence. I'll try to keep it up.
All right, and moving to our leader. Before we get to Mark Walls here, I would just like to go on the record here in the booth and state that we all know the real reason that Carl Burke is one of his favorite drivers. It is simply for the fact that he is a good driver, but it's also because we know KR and he's driving a Coors Light car. So we all know that's the real reason behind that. But coming away with the win here tonight is the 29 of Mark Walls. So first off, congrats on the win. And how was it out there on that slick track? We've heard it's like driving on ice with ice cubes for tires. So does that pretty much sum up what that truck was like tonight?
Oh man, that new leader, Chevy Silverado, tonight was just sideways. You couldn't get enough grip into this track. I mean, I think everybody after about 5 laps was fighting some kind of loose. I know that I showed my numbers to quite a few people sideways tonight. It was a handful, and I learned a lot driving in traffic too.
Well, definitely, it looked like it was a handful, but you handled it very well. In your opinion, we know turn 2 and turn 4 were pretty bad problems here as far as getting slick. So, which was one of them probably worse than the other, or were they both pretty bad for the general?
You know what? They were manageable up to a point. After about 10 laps, it really got crazy. And when I was back in traffic, starting about 12, I picked a lot of trucks off running the high groove. I found that I was able to get a little bit more grip off and take that speed down the straightaway. And those closing laps battling with Jeff, I mean, we're all on team radio. I move up to the high side to get a good run, and he's like, man, I didn't even expect that. And it kind of took off from there, and I was able to just keep it up front.
Yeah, you definitely you got to be very picky with your lines here because this track will eat tires up very quickly if you don't. Speaking of tires, and we know how bad they were, did you try to conserve any for those last, say, 10 laps, or was it, use your tires up to get to the front and hope everyone else did the same thing behind you?
Yeah, the last 10 laps, I was prepared to turn right.
We saw a few
we were
people do
going
that.
for it.
We
Yeah.
definitely saw some people turning right. Unfortunately, a few people did it, and it did not end well for them as they got into the inside or outside wall. Only saw a few go right off the track. Didn't see too many in the infield mowing that grass here tonight. Obviously, we know you have some sponsors, and shout-outs to who would those be for that victory here tonight.
Yeah, first off, we got to thank New Leader, a big part of Wicked Chassis, and not only that, but the biggest sponsor for the number 29 machine this season. So it was definitely nice to have New Leader in Victory Lane. And we got to thank Walls Beard Co. They've been on my truck since I started, and I got to thank a lot of these drivers out here for representing all these series sponsors too. I see a lot of Walls Beard Co. and New Leader logos on different trucks, so showing the love for our sponsors. And then we got to thank Sanctuary Studios for coming on board this season with us and sponsoring the series. This means a lot. We were a very competitive series now. We got a lot of drivers turning laps and coming out for these races, so we couldn't do that without Sanctuary Studios for us. And I got to thank Wicked Chassis, my teammates. I think we all were trying to figure out what we were going to run last minute. We didn't unload well. We didn't practice well. We didn't finish final practice well. So it was a couple in-race adjustments to keep the thing out front and survive.
Oh, definitely, you did survive coming away with the win. Normally, we'd give you a chicken dinner for winter. I think it's a little late for a chicken dinner. However, I do hear IHOP is open 24 hours, so you might be able to squeeze one in here. As it is, again, this is our after-hours race here, starting at 10:30 Central Time. It's around 1 o'clock a.m. now, so definitely go check out IHOP. They may get you that chicken dinner for winning. But we are not done just yet, folks. We still have one or two more pieces of business to take care of. So without further ado, KR, you want to run through those top 10 end results, and I will finish this out.
Man, I'll tell you what, Mark Walls, my pick for the race winner tonight. He got it done, made me look like an intelligent individual. Doesn't happen often, so I got to give mad props to Mark Walls. Carl Burke, my pick last week. These two guys, they're making me look like a genius. I love it. Carl Burke finished second, Jeff Stabnow third, John Ottenbacher fourth, Gary Nichols fifth, Chris White finished sixth, the 45 machine, and seventh of Steve Steelstad. Jason Hunt eighth, Dan Stussy ninth, and Chris Sherburne 10th.
And coming in a close 11th is Doug Hunt. 12th place, Sean Breisman. He led the most laps here tonight, 57 laps, led one lap down. Probably not the best finish he wanted here after showing such a dominant hand, but he will bounce back. We definitely look to see him next week coming into a strong finish. In 13th, Trenton Barrington. 14th, David Applegate. And 15th, Matt Henry. 16th goes to Jason Swank. 17th, Andy Vogt. 18th, Brett Johnson. 19th, Dana Rogers. And rounding out your top 20 is Josh Cushman. Again, 20th position, 15 laps down on his birthday. Definitely a disappointing finish for him. But such a good driver running the Sanctuary Studios onboard camera. We didn't get a whole lot of time to him. We didn't get to go on board with him. But finishing a good, not as good as he wanted, but he will bounce back next week and put in a good finish for that number 95. Finishing in 21st will be Mike Peterson. 22nd, Kip Leo. 23rd, Ryan Maines. 24th, Adam Hunt. And 25th will be Brad Cornell. 26th goes to Brandon Peters. 27th, Tom Green. And 28th, the number 91, Scott Hutchinson, did not start the race here tonight. We do want to report in, we just read on Facebook, Andy Vogt was my pick for the win here. Blue screen of death on his PC halfway through the race. That is why he came back in. He ended up 9 laps down, but he got a blue screen of death halfway through the race. So that is why that happened. Unfortunate for him. So not a wreck, just a computer malfunction. That is like the engine of these cars, and if they don't work right, That is definitely not a good thing. One more piece of business to take care of before me and KR sign off for the night. To thank all the sponsors, of course, that make all of this possible. Sim Speed Shop, HRE Motorsports, Elite 7 Racing, Virtual to Reality.tv, Dirtco Media House, and Ohio IndyCar League. All the sponsors here on the MaxSpeedTV side of things. Of course, on the racing side of things, give a big shout out to Highway Equipment Company. Their two branches are Highway and New Leader. Big shout out to them for coming on board this year. And of course, the title sponsor for this series is Sanctuary Studios. This has been the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Sanctuary Studios, and this was the MaxSpeedTV 180. As we are done here, so KR, do you have any final words before we sign off for the night?
Man, I'll tell you, as broadcasters, we can look at stuff and we can make predictions, but when we get those predictions right, it has nothing to do with how intelligent we are. Mark Walls made me look like a super intelligent person. So glad I picked him tonight. He pulled off an excellent victory. And Charles, man, I'll tell you, I've got Jeff Stabnow at Daytona and Mark Walls here at Atlanta. So I'm feeling pretty confident, but these guys are going to let me down here before too long.
Indeed, and I got was it Monday? I got picked our winner, right? So we're doing pretty good here, but again, we'll see how next week goes. I believe it's at Las Vegas. So, Las Vegas is a gambling town, so we'll see who gambles maybe and comes out on top. But with that being said, we're going to sign off for the night, or the morning in this case, because it is 1 a.m. here in Texas. So that being said,
Missouri.
In Missouri. So we will see you at the next race next Thursday night at Las Vegas.